I'm 26 years old and I've just finished up a 12-hour workday at the nonprofit I'm working for on 3rd Street in San Francisco. I'm standing on a BART platform waiting for the train to take me back to Berkeley with all of the other commuters. I worked in San Francisco, but I couldn't afford rent there, so I lived in Berkeley instead. The train comes and the doors hiss open, and everyone bursts into action, jostling for position like a throng of salmon battling upstream. The already tight conditions get dire as everybody squeezes in around me, and I'm swept up and pushed into the train. Once inside, I've got people pressed up against me literally on every side, so tight that I can feel and smell their breath. The tightness of the conditions, the sheer number of people, the heat of the place, and the noise of it all was just too much. I quickly backed out of the train and sat down on a bench on the platform and watched the train leave. Once it was gone, I took a deep breath of air without other people in it. And I started the process of trying to figure out how I was going to kill a few hours so I could return to the East Bay without the mass of commuters. I started to debate with myself whether it was worth the $100, which at the time I didn't have, to meet up with friends for dinner and drinks and wait out the commute hours. I sat there debating that $100 and thinking about how I'd probably never be able to afford a house living here, and I thought about doing that same thing every Friday over and over again for the rest of my life. And right then and there, on that BART platform in San Francisco, I decided to leave the Bay Area. I decided to move to someplace that I could afford, with nature all around me and an open sky. Does that sound familiar? Packed into that story from my 20s are all of the reasons that myself and my clients have chosen to leave the Bay Area and relocate here to the greater Placerville area in El Dorado County. Now maybe you've been considering that move yourself, and if so, stick with me to the end of this video and I'm going to cover the top 5 reasons that my clients have chosen to leave the Bay Area and move here to El Dorado County, and maybe the reasons you might want to consider doing it as well. For those of you that have been watching a while, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, you're probably wondering who I am and why you should listen to me. It's a fair question. My name's Rich Curtis and I'm with eXp Realty. I've been selling homes here in Sacramento and El Dorado counties for nearly 20 years, covering every market from the Great Recession to the COVID market insanity and everything in between. Also, I moved here from the Bay Area myself. I lived in San Jose for 17 years, Santa Cruz for 7 years, and Berkeley for 2 years. And like I said earlier, during that time, I was working on 3rd Street in San Francisco. So I commuted on or under the Bay Bridge almost every day. I know what life in the Bay Area is like, and I know how much your quality of life can improve by moving here to El Dorado County. So let's get stuck right into it. The first thing we need to talk about is cost of living. And I'm not talking about home prices here. We're gonna get to home prices later. I'm just talking about how expensive everything is there. Like I said, I lived in the Bay Area and it was a diverse, dynamic, fun place to live. But the sheer amount of money required to support a life there was absolutely bananas. Now, I lived there during the late 90s and a little bit again in the early aughts. But even then, you couldn't leave the house without spending $100. Between BART tickets, lunch, parking, doing anything for entertainment, or just trying to get home at the end of it all, it was about $100 out of pocket every day, anytime I left the house. Now, with the COVID and post-COVID inflation, I'm guessing that number's probably closer to $200 or $300. Even accounting for the COVID and post-COVID inflation, everything is simply cheaper here in El Dorado County. Whether it's your rent or your mortgage, dinner and drinks, or a night out at a show, everything is cheaper. Cheaper means you're spending less money, which means you have to make less money. It means you maybe can take a risk and start your own business instead of working for somebody else, or you can simply save for travel and retirement. And this is a major reason why I, and most of my clients, decided to leave the Bay Area. Reason number 2 goes hand in hand with reason number 1, and it's that for most people, they simply will never be able to afford a home in the Bay Area, or what they can afford will fall woefully short of meeting their family's needs. Look, as I sat in the Bay Area in my early 20s, facing down the primary wealth building years of my life, it was clear to me even then in the early aughts that there was no way I was ever going to be able to afford to own a home in the Bay Area. And I really wanted to take advantage of the massive wealth building potential of owning real estate. So I had to get out. And for most of my clients, this has been the driving reason behind them leaving the Bay Area. The median home price in the Bay Area right now in the spring of 2024 is between $1.1 and $1.7 million, depending on the community you're looking at. To put that into perspective, the median home price here in El Dorado County in the spring of 2024 is $650,000. Now, for some of you, you may be trying to decide between El Dorado County and Sacramento County for your Bay Area escape plan. And if you are, you'll be happy to find out that the median home price in Sacramento right now in the spring of 2024 is $550,000. We are talking about median home prices that are literally half the prices in the Bay Area. And that means mortgage payments that are literally half the cost of the Bay Area. And that means more money to be put towards the things you really want to pursue in your life, whether that be travel, retirement, dance lessons, or just not eating top ramen every night so you can make a mortgage payment. Many people in the Bay Area are waiting until they've saved enough for a down payment, or until their income rises enough that they can comfortably afford the payments. But all of that waiting comes at a cost. Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, predicts that home prices are going to rise between 15 and 25% over the next 5 years. So let's say you can't afford Bay Area home prices over that same 5-year period. What's the cost of waiting? To answer that, let's use the bottom end of the price increase predictions with 15%. So if you bought a home today at the median home price in El Dorado County of $650,000, then 5 years from now, that same home would be worth $747,500. That's $97,500 worth of wealth gained by you in that 5-year period. And that's nearly 100,000 reasons to make the move. Look, if at the end of this video you still aren't sure if El Dorado County is for you or what community you might want to live in if you did move here, feel free to reach out to me via the contact information on your screen or in the description down below. I've been selling homes here for 20 years and I've helped hundreds of families just like yours decide where to land in El Dorado County, and I'm always happy to help. All right, now let's get on with number 3. The third reason many of my clients put at the top of their list as to why they left the Bay Area is to get out of the city. Now look, don't get me wrong. I know the Bay Area is filled with beautiful nature. I grew up scuba diving in Monterey, learning to backpack and rock climb in Santa Cruz, and we loved climbing right in the middle of Berkeley in town. And Tilden Parks and Golden Gate Parks are amazing. But when you live the Bay Area, you spend the bulk of your time in the city or the burbs. I don't even want to add up the literal years of my life I spent sitting in traffic, waiting on BART platforms, waiting in lunch lines, and never being able to see the sky because of all the streetlights. By contrast, here in El Dorado County, you live in the mountains. Nature and the forest are all around you throughout your day, and it makes it an amazing place to live. There's very few streetlights here, and the ones there are few and far between, so you can almost always see the stars and the planets at night. In fact, my kids and I will go to our outdoor planetarium and sit and watch the International Space Station fly overhead. It really is an idyllic place to raise a family. Outdoor adventure sports are very popular in the Bay Area, but most of those people who live there are coming here to El Dorado County every weekend to go kayaking, rock climbing, mountain biking, skiing, you name it, they're coming here to do it. So why not make the move, reduce your cost of living, be able to afford a home, and live in the place where all the things you love to do already are? Look, if you've made it this far and you're getting anything at all out of this video, hit the like button, click subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss another video with crucial information about your move to El Dorado County. The fourth reason many of my clients make the move from the Bay Area to El Dorado County is the cost of childcare. The cost of childcare in the Bay Area is astronomical, and it forces some families to make the decision as to whether it's really worth it to have 2 incomes or better to have one person stay home with the kids. Except the cost of living is so high you really can't make it work on one income. In San Jose, in the heart of the Silicon Valley, infant care costs $1,729 a month. That's $20,746 annually. That's massive. In San Francisco, it's even worse, with infant care coming in at $1,926 monthly or $23,114 annually, and the costs for preschool care aren't much better. By contrast, the cost of infant care in Sacramento, the nearest major metro to El Dorado County, is just $1,187 a month or $14,240 annually. That's a big difference from the Bay Area. And here in El Dorado County, the costs of childcare are even less. So making the move from the Bay Area to El Dorado County can save you $6,000 to $9,000 a year in childcare costs. Reason number 5, and the last reason on our list why people move from the Bay Area to El Dorado County, is pace of life and community. This one is huge for me, but it can feel a little amorphous and hard to wrap your mind around. So let me put it this way. People here value their leisure and downtime. Now, we may all not be doing it the same way. I may be out paddleboarding and my neighbor bass fishing and my eye doctor skiing and my mechanic hitting the Rubicon Trail for some four-wheeling, or my mother-in-law sitting downtown with her stitching group. But no matter what we're doing, people here value their recreation time and they make time for it. You can really feel that in the pace of life here. And for me, this is invaluable. Our lives have become so fast-paced that there's no time to be calm, connect with your family, slow down, and do the things you love to do. And in my opinion, everyone needs this and a lot of this. Placerville is not only the kind of place where you can do this, but everyone else is doing it too. So instead of feeling the pressure to speed up and keep up, you feel empowered to slow down and take time for the people and things that you love. That sense of community and people supporting each other is a huge benefit of moving to El Dorado County. I'm near the center of the county here in Placerville, and it's a small town where everybody knows everybody and the people are very friendly and helpful. When my kids were toddlers, they were like mini celebrities walking up and down Main Street in Placerville with all the shop and business owners we know, grabbing them and bringing them in to show them all the cool things inside and talk with them. It cannot be overstated how valuable it is to live in a place where you feel like the whole community values your children. It's something I absolutely love about living here, and you will too. All right, that wraps up my list of 5 reasons why myself and my clients have made the choice to leave the Bay Area in favor of the greater Placerville area and El Dorado County. But choosing to leave the Bay Area won't really make a difference at all in your life if you don't know where to land. So to figure that out, click this playlist right here, which goes over the pros and cons of many of our foothills communities. And if you still aren't sure if El Dorado County in general is right for you, click this video right here on 11 things you should know before moving to El Dorado County. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.